tonight we're going to talk about Arete, goals, and Zen. How do I tie all of that together? It's old Greek wisdom, present day thoughts on how to excel in life, and also a very old ancient Chinese practice. So there's a lot of different philosophies coming into this talk, and I like to just meld them together, see how they work and how they complement each other, and how we can really get something out of each of these ideas and concepts that we can actually implement in everyday life and allow ourselves to be more peaceful and feel great about life. So I'm going to start with Arete, which is not a word that we use in the dojo very often. In fact, I don't even know if Sifu says it at all, but it's a word that I've been familiar with for quite some time. It's a Greek word that basically means to excel and to be in the pursuit of excellence and in virtue. And for the ancient Greeks, what that meant, as I understand it, was to take whatever it is that you're doing and to excel in that thing. And it was meant to be applied in body, mind, and spirit. So we really look, it's a very encompassing word that includes excellence in basically every area of our lives. So it's a really cool word. It's a really great word that you can dig yourself into in terms of giving yourself purpose for life, right? One of the things that we find in life is that unless we have a purpose, unless we have the direction that we're going, it can make life really, really hard. If we don't know where we're going and what our purpose is, we are by definition directionless, and that can lead to all sorts of mental health issues. Not saying that having those things gets rid of the mental health issues, but it can certainly help in lots of ways. So just going forth more into the Greek sort of origins of this word and what it means and things like that too. Plato, who is, if you don't know, a very famous Greek philosopher, he used Arete in this discussion of athletic training. Plato was talking about that Arete is, you believed in athletic training that the mind, body, and soul each had to be developed for someone to live a life of Arete. So they really talked about living this life of excellence in a way, living this life of virtue, living the best life that you could live, being your highest self. So those are all ways of expressing that in words that we use today or phrases that we use today most often. And it's encapsulated in this word, Arete, which is really nice. I really like it. It's like a nice short word you can say quickly and mean all of those things. And that's really cool. If you're interested in finding out more about this word, Brian Johnson, who's a modern day philosopher, has a new book out called Arete, and he delves into all the different areas of life and how you can live your best self in each area of your life. It's an extraordinary book. I highly recommend it to anybody if you're interested in that. And now, the cool thing about all of this discussion is that it's all about Kung Fu, right? This is a martial arts school and we do teach Kung Fu. And Kung Fu from the Chinese really refers to a skill that is acquired through learning or practice. And, Kong meaning work or achievement or merit. So it's really looking at that word of excelling again. And Fu, which apparently, according to Wikipedia, is a particle of nominal suffix with diverse meanings. So basically, what I take from that is that I can apply it to any area of my life. That might not actually be technically true, but I'm going to take it so that because it really fits with how this works today. And when we think of Kung Fu, we think about practice most basically. Like we think, how do we excel in making a fist? How do we excel in doing a front punch? How do we excel in doing a front kick? You know, all of those techniques we can measurably get better at, right? But it also applies to everything else in life. So Kung Fu, as I understand it, not that I'm Chinese, but as I understand it, Kung Fu can be applied to any area of your life. So you can apply Kung Fu to chimney making. You can apply Kung Fu to how well you wash the dishes. You can apply Kung Fu to how well you breathe. So it's very much an all-encompassing word that means that you can excel in every area of your life. But just like Arete. So interesting, isn't it, that the ancient Greeks had this word that means excelling in every area of your life, as well as Chinese people, which is a civilization that's been around for thousands of years, also has a very similar concept around excelling in every area of your life. And it's so cool that they exist in both completely different civilizations and all the rest of it. But apparently, a very fundamental way of approaching the world and being with the world and how we can operate in the world and excel and allow ourselves to be the best person that we can be. In the Kids Group here, part of it is, and try as hard as I can at everything I do, both in and outside the dojo. So again, we reinforce the kids growing up in this space of how do I do well at everything that it is that I do, and everything that in the dojo as well as outside the dojo. So in life. And one of the things that I think that typifies a yellow sashes paper is, so it's somebody in the adult class who's tested for yellow, they write a paper. And one of the things that often comes up is how well what they've learned here on the mat translates to outside. What they've learned here in terms of how to do a front punch, how to be a good partner, translates out into the world where we're living our lives, and it's not the mats, but it's the mats of our lives, right? So that's a really, really awesome concept and exactly the same as Arete and Kung Fu. So very exciting so far. I hope you're following along. So it's that time of the year where Sifu often talks about goals, and I've been having some thoughts about goals for a little while. I've been trying to noodle around with it. And the first question is, why have goals? Why put yourself through the struggle, right? Because, well, I don't know about you, but my goals always involve struggle. Like I always choose something that I'm not doing well currently and I would like to do well at, and it's always really hard. I'm never able to like fully jump into them and achieve them instantly like that. It's like something I have to work at, often again and again, and come back to and fail and come back again and try and do them again and keep working. So why put ourselves through that? It seems weird. But in accepting the concept of Arete, or in accepting the concept of Kung Fu, where we bring excellence to everywhere in our life, we recognize that our potential to live our best life is a constant activity. So it's not something that's done once. I mean, I guess it might be, maybe your goal is to eat a block of chocolate and then you can do it. done, but that's not really what we're talking about here. It's like, it's something that is ever present. It's something that we have to strive to be able to achieve. And at every moment, we get to choose our reaction to the previous moment. At every moment, we get to create the next moment. And the choice to excel is in every moment, in every single aspect of that moment, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So in the mind, body, and spirit, in every single moment that we are aware of, that we notice, we can choose in that moment to excel. And what does that mean? It means doing our best at that particular moment. Arete. So, of course, we're human, and it's almost by definition, impossible to achieve perfection in anything. Think of this. What? But anyway, we experience a gap in what is, in our potential. And even if our potential isn't perfection, our potential is, I'm going to say, something different from what is. Because there's always room for growth, there's always room for something different to occur. And growth can look many different ways too. So it doesn't necessarily mean doing one better. It might be having your mindset be more positive as you're doing that thing. Or it might be having that thing be more aligned with your higher self. Right, so there's multiple ways that you can have something be quote unquote better. So I invite you over this next couple of weeks to take some time and review where you are right now. Sometimes it takes some deep reflection time. Sometimes it takes asking someone else to get an outside perspective of how you are or who you are in a particular situation. And where's the gap for you? And it's just useful to give yourself a point of reference. Right? There's no right or wrong with any of the what is. The what is what so, and that's just what so. It's not right or wrong to be where you are, because you are where you are. You can't change where you are. And it gives you a chance to accept where you are. And this is very Zen. But this brings me to the other part of my talk. It's like being okay with where you are is something. And recognizing and accepting what is true is a very important skill as a martial artist and a very important skill in life. So let's talk about the specifics of goals a little bit. So it's possible to set a goal for your whole life, but not necessarily very easy to do that in a meaningful way, or a way that's going to be easy to measure or like know if you've gotten better in life. So people usually find it easier to find a specific area in life and choose something very specific within that area to develop a goal around. So as humans, we like to know that we're making progress. And since most of us, and me included, not reached a state of Buddha enlightenment, it's very nice to have these steps that we can go, oh, yes, I completed my goal. Well, no, I didn't complete my goal, which is fine either way. And we like to complete our goals. goals, we like to achieve what it is that we set ourselves up to do. So declaring a goal in a way that allows us to know if we've done it or not is helpful. So how do we do that? Oh, I know Sifu's talked about this a whole ton, pretty much every single year he's run dojo, probably before that too, and that's to use SMART goals. And they're extremely useful. So I'm going to talk about that briefly. So we have specific. You want to make sure it's extremely specific. And I'm going to do some examples that I will like, so hold on. But we'll do the acronym first. The M is for measurable. You want to make sure that you can know whether or not you've done it or not. You want to make sure they're achievable. So it's something that you can actually do, where it's important too. You want to make sure that they're relevant. You don't want something that's going to take you, that's going to be a really great thing to do, but it's not helpful for you in your own development and taking you on the path that you want to do. And then you want it to be time-based, so you know when you're going to have finished it. Okay? So let's take an example. Right, so let's take weight loss, because that's a very common goal that people have at the beginning of the year, probably because they eat lots of things over the holidays. I shall do that. So let's say that we want to lose some weight after the new year, or in the new year. It's not very specific yet. It's almost specific, but I don't know how much weight I'm going to lose. So let's say I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Great. So now I know I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I can say whether or not I've lost 10 pounds. That's measurable because it's got a number to it. Pretty much any time that you write your goal, there needs to be a number in it so that you can measure it. It's achievable. Should be, as long as I don't try and do it in the first, day or two. It's relevant because I like myself to be healthy in a good way, and that's awesome. And time-based, I don't have time in that yet. So I can say I want to lose 10 pounds in the first 3 months of the year. Now that is a SMART goal. I've got the number, definitely doable. Anybody should be able to lose 10 pounds in 3 months. It's great, it's relevant, keeps me healthy, all good things. Check, 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 check. Now, the interesting thing about this is that I don't know what actions to take to do that. It's not something that I don't know how to do that without doing a little bit more work. So this is something that I developed that I think is very helpful when we're looking at goals. So we're looking at the process of that. So how will I achieve the result I want with my goal? It's called path. I do SMART path goals. So the process is how am I going to achieve my goal? And then I go, I'm going to eat healthily, and that means not too much, not sugar in my life, not too much, carbs in my life, all those things. So the process is I'm going to eat well, and I might also say I need to do a little bit more exercise too, right? So when I identify I'm eating salads for lunch, and I am coming to class 2 to 3 times a week, right? Good. Fair enough. So that gives me 2 specific actions that I can take, and that's the A in path. Action. What's the action I need to take? So I'm eating salads and I'm coming to class 2 to 3 times per week. This is very specific, right? But it is exactly what I know I need to do in order to lose the weight, right? So if losing the weight is the result, the actions are eating well and exercising. Good. So now template, 10 for template. How often and how much do I need to do it? Well, I already said I'm going to come into class 2 to 3 times a week. And then for the salads, like maybe I should eat salad 5 out of 7 days. I don't know. And then a habit, when will I do it? I need to make sure that I'm doing this habitually so that it's a lifestyle change because that's going to make a difference for my health in the long term, right? Even if my goal is to lose the 10 pounds in 3 months, my lifestyle change will help me not put on any more weight again after I've lost that 10 pounds, right? So when will I do it? I'm going to eat my salads during the week and give myself time off over the weekends, and then do class 2 or 3 times a week. Okay. I'm going to do a class on, I don't know which days I'm doing class yet, I can look at my calendar, but say I'm doing class on Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays. Great. Awesome. So now I've got very specific actions that I'm taking that are going to help me achieve my goal at the end of the year. So those are the examples. Now, let's go back to Zen. So, always difficult talking about Zen because kind of by definition, there's no definition to Zen. But to talk about it is not really Zen. But we get questions every year about this. How can you employ Zen in reaching your goals? Aren't goals counted to being in Zen? Aren't they counted as Zen, the concept of Zen? Maybe when we're talking about, I want to be the best at something, and that the reason for having that is more ego-driven, maybe. But when I go back to my path, my process, my actions, my templates, and my habits, when I'm in the doing of the thing that I need to do in order to achieve my goals, that's where Zen is. Because you're in the moment of doing that thing to the best of your ability, Arete, you're in the moment doing that thing, doing it here and doing it now, choosing it right now. So the moment before you choose your reaction, and then to create the future, and being right here, right now, and doing those things that I said I was going to do, allows me to close the gap from where I was at the beginning of the year to where I want to be, my higher self, and the closest I can get to enlightenment. The closest I can get to my fullest potential by living a life of Arete and of Kung Fu and being in the moment, being in Zen each and every time doing my thing. Feels so good. I don't know if that's Zen. It feels good to me. So I'm going to invite you right now to take a moment, several moments, to sit, and we're going to meditate, be in Zen, and allow each moment of your meditation to be an expression of Arete, to be an expression of Kung Fu, as much as you are able to today. Be here right now. And sit comfortably. Allow your spine to be straight. Chin parallel to the floor. Eyes closed. Slightly upturned. So you were looking at the point between your eyebrows. Allow your breath to come in. Allow your breath to go out. focus on your breath. Anchor point